All right, monkeys. I told you cats I was going to make a little video for you guys to see exactly where the market is going. And let me show you the screen. Hopefully, you guys can see it. Let me take this off so you guys can see this clearly. All right. This is, of course, the Bitcoin chart. You guys are aware of that. Let me take this shit off over here. Now, I do know, and you cats know as well, that we're way past the 50-week moving average. That's that yellow line right here. Now, historically, whenever you go below the 50-week moving average, approximately 3 weeks, that indicates that you're heading into a bear run. Of course, this was the last time we went under the 50-week moving average. Here, let me get the candles up. You can see that in this candle, we did go below it, but then we ended up popping up. And then in this one, we did go below it again for one whole week. Then we popped up. And then this one stayed below. And then we had one, two, three. And then boom, we fell into the bear market. And of course, we're seeing the same thing happen again. We're below the 50-week moving average. You monkeys are aware of that. Now, be advised, cats, one candle below the 50-week moving average, you're really not, there's really not too much concern. And let me give you an example. For example, here, right here in this area. If you cats didn't know, and I know you guys aren't technical analysts, but let me explain something to you. You see these wicks down here? This looks like a candle, and that looks like a wick at the bottom. Well, when this candle initially launched, it means the candle started off down in this area, and we ended up popping up. By the end of the week, we closed the top side, and then the following week, we ended up getting bullish and we ran to the upside. Now, last week, as a matter of fact, the exact same thing happened. We're below the 50-week moving average. But I don't think there's too much room for concern, monkeys. I think that we will probably close below the 50-week moving average this week, but we still got 2 weeks to figure out which way the market is going. And I've got a guesstimation. And I said this last time, last video I did. I had mentioned that I was expecting, because this candle used to be all the way down here, and I was expecting this sucker to freaking pop back up, and then this sucker would end up turning into a wick. Now, why did it come into this block in this general area right here? Why did it do that? Because this area is what you call liquidity. Think of the market as a car. These candles represent cars, or it's one car, and it's just representing where the car's moving through time. And basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that the reason we dove in here is because the market needed to pick up this liquidity and needed to pick up this fuel. And these are fair value gaps on the weekly. So that means that these represent a whole week of liquidity versus this one over here just represents a fair value gap on the daily. And obviously, it's evident that we shot past this one. We picked up liquidity here. We shot past this one. And I've got a gut feeling we're going to go down into deep liquidity. And I'm referring to this box right here where we're at right now. And what price point can that be? That can take us anywhere from 92,669 all the way down to about 86,806. On average, usually when we come into these fair value gaps, we go halfway through and we'll end up at about 89,646. But I would not be surprised if we come down here to 86,722. Now, do I think the bear market has started? No, I don't think it has started, monkeys. Not at all. Quantitative tightening has stopped, and we're going into quantitative easing. A lot more money's going to start running into the market, and I think we're going to go bullish. Of course, if some black swan event does happen, I cannot predict that if that will occur or not. But nevertheless, this is what I'm expecting for it to happen. Now, what else did I want to show you, cats? Now, I also wanted to show you this shit. Let's see. Let's go down here. And Let me turn this off. Let me see. Okay. Here you go. All right. So this is the Elliott wave structure I'm going to show you, monkeys. Let me stretch this out a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. This is the Elliott wave structure. And basically the way it works, an Elliott wave kind of works like this. And I know you guys are not TA guys, but nevertheless, I still want to be redundant. So usually Elliott waves work like this, man. They come up 3, come into a 4, and then we go into a 5. And for this case scenario, I'll go ahead and make sure you cats can see the Elliott wave line because I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. That is a wave line. Right there. Now, on average, the 0 to 1 is a short pump to the upside. And then we go all the way up into 3. And 3 is the most parabolic, of course. So that's usually what happens. And 3 tends to be the most parabolic. Now, after this Elliott wave is done, what usually ends up happening, we get an ABC corrective wave. For simple terms purpose. It's a lot more complex than that. A lot more complex than that. But for instruction, you guys aren't TA guys, so for instructional purposes, I'll explain to you what's going on. And let me change this to different colors so you guys could see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. There's usually an ABC corrective wave. That's usually what happens. Now, why am I showing you this? Usually, when we have an ABC corrective wave, if we go past below portion number 4 here on this Elliott wave structure that you're seeing ahead, at that point in time, I think we're completely heading into a bull run. And we'll probably start dipping pretty hard, and it can come all the way down here to portion A, and that's pretty bad. Now, how am I looking at this chart in reference to what I'm showing you cats? Look at this right here. We've been from 0 to 1. We came back down to 2. And then from 2, we're shooting up. We shot up to 3, and we're currently on the 4th portion of the Elliott wave. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be that we're going to continue running to the upside. Remember, 3 tends to be the most parabolic, monkeys. It tends to be the most parabolic. So why am I showing this to you cats? I will be completely convinced that this bear market is in full effect once we cross this area of about 78,825. Why? Because, let me see if I can. Boom. Where is the rest of this? Because this would be 4. Is this 79,000? Yeah, right here. This would be 4. And we're currently working on 5. Of course, remember, 3 can be stupid parabolic. But assuming that this was the top of 3, we came down to 4 and we're coming up to 5. If we cross past this 4 area, then that's going to indicate that we're going into a pretty bad bear run. Twinkie has an estimation of about down here at the wick, about 74,462. That for him signifies that we're going into a bear run. Me, on the other hand, I'm looking at the bottom of these two because these are two very solid areas of support. And I think everybody's going to end up panicking if we go below this area here, which is 78,299. Not till we cross that threshold am I convinced that we're fully in a bear run. You know what I'm saying, monkeys? So I don't think we have much to worry about, at least not yet. Yes, this dip has been pretty freaking hard. Currently, we're at about what? 25% of a dip. That's usually not normal. And I'm expecting us for at minimal to go down here to about 30%, 31% to about 29%, give or take. I'm expecting that. Now, I'm pretty convinced as well. I mean, that we are going to go running to the upside. I don't think this is over with yet. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to show you a different chart. Let me see if I can bring it up. And this is my guesstimation as to by when we're gonna end up going running back to the upside again. Let me change this out to FTM new analysis, open anyway. Here we go. Let's go back up over here. Put this on the daily. Now, monkeys, one of the things that I have been noticing, I know Charlie's a big time and Bob Lucas are big time 60-day cycle cats. I've been noticing consistently a trend of 71 days for a 60-day cycle. And then we had a 76-day. And then we had a very weird 84-day. And then prior to that, we had a 70-day. You know what I'm saying? And then prior to that, we had 63 days. Currently, we are on about day 74. That's what I'm seeing. Day 74. So at worst case scenario, I would assume that the worst, most difficult way that we would end up, well, not the worst, most difficult way. Let me take my words back. But I would assume that the lowest we would end up going would be up to day 80. Of course, we do have an anomaly here of about day 84 on this side, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to hit that other region, which I was telling you cats about, that fair value gap on the weekly, pretty soon. And I think it's going to come pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? So we're in that general area, monkeys. We're in that general area. We're about to finish this 80-day cycle or 70-day cycle. I don't know which one to clarify it as. Now, what am I going to be doing? I do intend to buy. I am going to sack for Richard Hart's tokens. The new token, Mr. whatever, Mr. ProveX. Mr. ProveX or ProveX, whatever it was called. I am going to sacrifice for that. Not going to do a lot. I want to do maybe 1/5 or maybe 1/4 of what I intend to buy of that Mr. ProveX token. I intend to put in a certain amount, probably tonight, and then as the week progresses, let me take this off, cats. Not as the week progresses, but as let me see. Let me add to stage. How do I do this? Oh, let me stop the screen. Stop screen. Add to stage. So yeah, cats, that's what I intend to do. I am going to buy some ProveX. What I am going to do is I'm probably going to buy a lot of Pulse Chain. I do want to pack up my Pulse Chain bag a little bit more, since a lot of people, a lot of whales are selling out their Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex for this Mr. Proof token. I intend to take advantage of that. So that is my plan, monkeys.